Nice to meet you, Batista.
Well, nice to meet you.
I've heard so much about you. Steve has just been telling me stories upon stories. It's absolutely amazing. And I visited your website, and I see you have a lot of good words to say about Steve. Let me ask you one question up front. How in the world did you ever first make contact with him?
Okay, it was a coincidence. I was in a restaurant where I used to dance, and I was waiting to have a business meeting with the owner. And Stephen had a coupon to try the restaurant for lunch. We made eye contact, so he came to the table. I was sitting alone there waiting. I asked him, what he does, and he said, I'm a body designer.
Did that have any meaning to you at the time?
I said, that's what I need. I knew right away.
So was this something that you had been looking for, or just something that you had in the back of your head?
The day before, I was feeling like I was gaining weight. I had injuries. I was not where I wanted to be with my body. And it was kind of a roller coaster. Nothing I was doing was making any difference, really. And I'm a dancer, so I exercise already, and I was on diets, and nothing was working. So the night before, I had made a decision for myself that I was going to address the issue, and I was just something was going to happen. I was going to do something about this. And the next day I met him, and so for me it was like a sign,
Very serendipitous occasion.
Yeah.
It's almost as though the universe was bringing you two together at
Exactly,
just the right time.
Exactly. So an hour later, I was in his office, and I got the whole spiel, the pictures, and the whole thing. And when I saw the pictures, those before and after pictures, I knew that I could do it. It could be me.
They spoke to you.
Yeah. So it took me a little while afterwards to actually come through and purchase the program and everything, because it is a commitment, it's money, and I was in debt.
So even though you were in debt, you were convinced enough ultimately to make an investment in your future.
Yes, because money goes.
Oh, tell me about that one. Yeah.
And I figured if I have a better body and I'm stronger and I feel better about myself, eventually I'll make more money, it'll be okay. But if I take the money and pay my debts, then the money will be gone. I'll still be fat and out of shape, and I'll still be unhappy. So I figured, I'll invest in myself, and then the rest will take care of itself. And it did. It did.
All right. So you're ultimately convinced, and you signed on with Steve, and he introduced you to his innovative process.
Yes.
And what did you think when you first started that? Did that impress you right off, or did you have to work your way into that?
No, I was impressed right away. Yeah. It's a little intimidating at first, the big weights and the stuff at the gym, but everything was explained really thoroughly, very comfortably. And
had you ever worked out with weights in the past, or?
I've joined several gyms in the past, and the gyms usually have a package. You join and they give you so many hours with a trainer or something like this. So I had done a few things like this, and I never stuck with it. It never worked with me. For one reason is I'm a dancer, I work with my body, and I already have a lot of injuries, and I've already had to work through a lot of injuries just to continue the career. And I'm competitive in a way because I dance and I have to be the best, but I'm not competitive in the way where I'm going to exercise in a way or go to a yoga class or or lift weight or do something in a competitive way where I know I'm going to get hurt. It's not interesting for me because I need my body for my work.
So that was your past experience. Now,
Yes.
Steve introduced you to a whole different way of working out.
Totally, and it was very safe, very comfortable. At some point a little intimidating because, oh my God, I gotta lift this weight. But it just all happens. It's almost like in dance, like I was a ballet dancer for my whole life. You have a series of exercises that are built upon each other. It's kind of like that. All the exercises are put together in a certain way that works. So the body warms up, it feels good. And then the amazing thing, like I could have a pain somewhere and do an exercise a certain way, and it's like, oh, that hurts. Oh, well, then maybe you could hold the weight in another way. So hold the weight in that, and the pain is not there anymore.
So what you're saying is Stephen is really paying attention to how you're reacting to these things. He's not just giving you instructions, but he's really monitoring your responses.
Absolutely.
Let me ask you another question, Batista. Steve makes an amazing claim. He claims that within the first 20 or 30 minutes, he can increase your strength, and he says as much as 30%. Did you have an experience where your strength was increased that rapidly?
Oh, absolutely. What was it? I think the first exercise I did was a leg press. What was it? Like 3 plates on each side? I mean, never heard of it. It's like 45 pounds each plate, so it's what, 300 pounds? Mm-hmm. It's like I never even thought I could do that. You know what I mean? Again, I always had a backache for 20 years. I had some injuries, so I was always even afraid of lifting anything. Okay, like I had big fear on weight, like luggage, anything that was heavy. I never, I avoided. So just carrying the weight and knowing how to load the machine was very empowering. But then I was taught the mechanics of how to actually do the exercise with very little weight. And before I knew it, I had like the 3 plates on the machine, and I was doing the exercise perfectly. Now, how empowering is that?
You felt very, very satisfied with what you had accomplished, I think.
Yeah, and I'm not afraid of lifting any weight anymore. I mean, even luggage, whatever, I can travel. Do you know that I went to Europe, like, I think a month after I started the program? And for the first time in 20 years, I made the trip without any back pain.
Wow.
Usually I go to Switzerland, just the trip alone in the plane and the lifting the suitcase or whatever, and I get there and I spend the whole time there in excruciating pain, like having to find a chiropractor real quick.
A lot of people do have that response because being confined in airline seats is very restrictive, and in fact it can be considered unhealthy in many ways. It cuts down the circulation, and the confinement can lead to all sorts of you can't really get up and like do exercises in the ladies' room on an airplane.
Yeah, I went twice now since I've been on the program, and both times there's no more pain. I'm free.
Well, that's an amazing testimony. So I take it that you would feel comfortable recommending Stephen's program to your friends.
Oh, absolutely.
Well, he does offer an amazing package, and I'm so glad that you were willing to come in here and talk a little bit about it, because, quite frankly, the first time I heard these claims that Steve made, I was a little skeptical, but I've seen and read so many positive testimonials from people that I have to admit, he must have something that he's doing.
Yes, I was a little skeptical too at first, but I don't know, something told me inside that it was, that it would work, and it really did work. Yes, all women need to do this program. It's very empowering. It'd be a better world.
Well, we could certainly use a better world.
A better world.
Thank you, Batista.